delicious, crispy flatbread meat pizza brings back memories of Turkey. Hi everyone, I'm Karen Ahmed. Welcome back to my channel. A couple of years ago, we visited Istanbul in Turkey, and this delicious meat pizza, also called Lahmajoun, is pretty much available anywhere. Now, Lahmajoun is not only available in Turkey, it's also available in the surrounding countries. What I love about this recipe is you take a lot of ingredients, both meat and vegetables, and everything gets processed together in a food processor to form a delicious topping. It's great if you have fussy eaters or kids that are picky with vegetables because you can hide everything together, and it's so delicious they won't know the difference. Before I go any further with this recipe, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I upload a ton of videos every week, so make sure that you're subscribed so you're the first to see them. Also, ring the bell, that's YouTube's new bell icon. I will notify you every time I upload a new video. Now let's get cooking. I have 2 cups of whole wheat flour here and 1.5 cups of regular all-purpose flour. I'm adding a bit less all-purpose as I'm going to add a little bit more later through the kneading process. Mix these 2 flours together, and then I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of instant yeast. Yeast needs sugar to feed it, so I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of sugar. I'm also going to add a tablespoon of olive oil. I have 1 cup of warm milk here, and I'm going to add this in just a little bit at a time, and I'm going to knead it. If it's still dry, add a bit more warm water and knead the dough through. Milk helps the dough get a little bit crispier in the oven, and this is what you want with a lahmacun. If the dough gets too soft, add some more all-purpose flour and knead, knead, knead. I'm just going to wash my hands and I'm going to transfer this dough into an oiled bowl. Coat the dough with oil, cover it with cling wrap, and leave it in a warm place to rise for an hour. I'm going to throw 4 cloves of garlic right into my food processor. Like I mentioned earlier, this recipe is packed with veggies and it's a great camouflage if you have picky eaters. I'm going to start with a nice ripe tomato and I'm going to chop it rather coarsely. Everything is going to be processed in my food processor later, so I'm not too concerned about how I'm chopping the vegetables. I'm just going to measure everything though so my filling stays consistent. This measures 2 cups of diced tomato. Into the food processor it goes. Whatever doesn't fit in the bowl, it's going to be used elsewhere in another recipe. Next, I'm going to roughly chop, or should I say massacre, a red pepper. Followed by a green pepper, and I'm going to do the same. I also have a white onion here. I'm going to roughly chop this, and I'm going to measure it as well before it gets tossed in. I'm also going to slice and toss in 2 green chilies and a handful of nice fresh parsley. Parsley is going to give the topping an incredible flavor. In it goes. To make room for everything else, let's give this a quick blitz. It's looking amazing, and now I'm going to add in the meat. Ground lamb is traditional, but you can add beef or even chicken instead. I'm going to add this in, and I'm now going to add a bunch of powdered spices. In no particular order, I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of cumin powder, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon of aleppo pepper, a teaspoon of dried mint, a teaspoon of chili flakes, and a teaspoon of sumac. I'm also going to add 2 teaspoons of tomato paste, and about a teaspoon of fresh cracked pepper and 2 teaspoons of salt. I'm also going to add 1 tablespoon of pomegranate molasses, which you know I love, and a tablespoon of olive oil. Let's start to process this, and to keep this paste consistent, I'm going to scrape from the bottom up a few times. This looks like the perfect consistency, and with all my recipes, I like to taste for salt and seasoning first, just by cooking up a little bit of the filling. I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt now. I didn't add any salt earlier as I wanted the yeast to feed off the sugar, and adding salt would have slowed the process down. The dough looks great too. I'm just going to knead it using a bit more flour. And then I'm going to divide the dough into 4 parts. Keep the other 3 parts covered to prevent it from getting dry. I'm going to roll this now as wide as I can. The dough should only be a few millimeters thick. Place this on a pizza tray or a stone. Add the filling and spread using the back of a spoon. You can either spread the filling quite thin or a little bit thicker. It's really a matter of personal preference. Place this in the oven and repeat the process again. While the first 2 are cooking, I'm just going to finish the rest, and I'm going to place them on some parchment paper. To make this and store it ahead, I prefer to cook them and then refrigerate or freeze. They reheat really well in the oven. Eat this on its own or dunk it in some hummus or some toum and enjoy. Thank you so much for joining me on Cravings Food Adventures. I really hope you enjoyed this delicious recipe for Lahmajoun, also known as Turkish pizza. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and share my channel and my videos with your family and friends. And do ring the bell, that's YouTube's bell icon that will notify you every time I upload a new video. And make sure to follow me on all of my social channels. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, and even Snapchat. Till I see you next time, happy eating and take care. Bye.